come up with that dog shit pick. What the fuck were we thinking? What the fuck were you thinking?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Jimnasium with me, XFL Jim, joined by my co-host, Chase.
Decided to keep it simple this week.
I like it. We're so next episode, what you're saying is you're gonna have like a 6-name nickname.
Yeah, that's probably exactly how that's gonna go down.
We'll start slow, work our way up to the bigger ones. Yeah. But we got college football to talk about. We got NFL to talk about. I tried to fix my green screen. It didn't work.
It looks pretty good right now.
Just
a little
fine.
bit.
There we go.
There we go.
Better. We got it. We finally got it. So we're gonna do a little different, like a little, flavor, a little sprinkle of spice onto our regular recap for the season, for the week. Just like if we come across a team that we're particularly high on, either one of us, I think we could talk about why we're buying this team and why we think they could have success in the second half of the college football season, or like the latter stages of the NFL season. Because I wouldn't say it's like halfway yet in the NFL.
I agree.
You ready to get into these, baby?
Let's do it.
App State 42, Georgia State 17. This is nothing more to me than Georgia State being the fraudulent team that I thought they were.
Pretty much.
Sunbelt's just fun. Everyone kills each other.
App State deciding not to play a close game finally.
Yep. App State, like the Sunbelt's crazy. It's one of the most entertaining conferences in football. That's my big takeaway from a lot of these games.
I think we said it the other day. Like, if you gave me 3 conferences to watch and they were just the Mountain West, MAC, and the Fun Belt, then I would be completely content with life. Like,
I would be
the most entertaining conferences.
Virginia 16, Georgia Tech 9. It was fun while it lasted with an interim coach for Georgia Tech. They're still really bad.
Yeah, the rallying is done. They've rallied around, and now it's just kind of meh until next season.
Yep, that's just. And then Virginia, I don't trust either of these teams. Troy 10, South Alabama 6. Was the unders taker on this one? Because I don't think I saw this coming.
I think I actually took South Alabama. I didn't play the unders here because I figured I might have. I'm not sure. I'll have to check. I don't think
I was on South Alabama as well.
But I will say I think we've run into our first team that I'm buying for the second half, which is Troy. It's a wide open Fun Belt, really. I mean, everybody has a loss. I feel like tons of teams have a shot. So I think Troy could really make a splash in the Fun Belt at the end of the season.
I think it really comes between Troy and South Alabama for the West there. The East is way crazier with like JMU, App State, Coastal. Is Coastal Sun Belt? Yeah, they are. Yeah. The East is way weird. I think it comes down to these two. Maybe Lafayette can get in the sprinkle, but I don't trust them.
Yeah, they haven't shown it. I mean, they have had moments where they look excellent. They've had moments where they looked bad, but it seems like Troy's consistently looked good week in, week out the last few weeks.
And it looks like they've been getting better too.
Yeah, I agree. It's a classic Fun Belt program. These fighting men of Troy.
Tulsa 27, Temple 16. Didn't watch this one. It was a shit fest. I was watching the other Friday night game.
The unders taker was on this one because the total was 52, and the unders taker tombstone of the fun right out of this one.
That's too much for a Tulsa or a Temple team. When you put them together, that's you're asking for trouble.
Pretty much.
Western Kentucky 20, UAB 17.
Instead of kicking the field goal at the end of the game, they decided to kneel it and not cover the 3.5. Can we say I feel like I've always kind of been buying Western Kentucky this season, so I'm going to skip on that.
I feel like I was a little high on them too. They lost a lot to Texas Tech and of course Bailey Zappi to the NFL, but they seem to be doing pretty darn well throughout the season regardless.
Yeah, I mean they're putting together wins. I mean UAB is a really tough program. I mean, they're just doing classic Western Kentucky things, it seems, which is just slinging the ball around and sadly, but in this case, not covering spreads.
Rutgers 24, Indiana 17. If you want to talk about a team I'm selling Indiana. Anything I had left in Indiana is sold.
I would agree. Are you buying Rutgers, though?
So buying Rutgers...
Now you got Knuckles as the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, do we think Rutgers is like a bowl team? Because if that's the case, I am buying Rutgers.
Let's see. What does Rutgers have left?
Well, they still have to play Michigan State, so I think that's a win.
Okay, let's see. They've got Minnesota this Saturday.
That's tough.
They've got Michigan.
Probably not a win.
Michigan State.
That might be, I think.
And then Maryland.
So, 2, 3. They need 2 wins to make a bowl game.
So and that leaves maybe Minnesota, Michigan State, or Maryland. They have to get 2 of those 3.
Oh, God. Do you think they could sneak up on Penn State?
No.
I don't think so either.
I think James Franklin will always do the most underwhelming thing, but I think that just means a barely win against Rutgers.
Yeah, it's like a barely win against Rutgers, or it's a get embarrassed by Ohio State.
Right, yeah.
Or Michigan, like they did a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it's going to be tough, Rutgers. I don't know. I think I'm more high on Maryland. Like, Maryland's shown me more.
Like winning it past the month of September.
I know that makes me buy Maryland. I am not buying Rutgers.
You're not buying Rutgers, even though they have Knuckles as the offensive coordinator now.
If they would have beaten Nebraska, I would be all over Rutgers to make a bowl game. But I can't buy into that.
Nunzio Capone, or whatever his name was. Knuckles.
Yeah, the Nunts.
Knuckles, the offensive coordinator.
Kent State 33, Akron 27. The Mac attack, baby.
We get full action this week, don't we?
Is it this week that we finally get it?
I think so.
No. Week after.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's right around the corner.
Week 10. Week 10 is when we get full on Mac. It's November, so it's like the start in November is when Maction comes to roost.
All I can really say about Kent State winning is that Nick Saban played there in the 70s and was a graduate assistant there, and that really was just enough to build the foundation of a fantastic program.
They're fun, too. They are a very fun team. Tennessee 65, UT Martin 24. Nothing to say about this game. Tennessee, smart move. Smart move scheduling a glorified bye week after the Alabama game.
Yeah, because that would have had letdown written all over it. It was tied for a minute.
Yeah. For just a little bit. Army 48, ULM 24. I am buying Army. I'll say it.
I haven't paid enough attention to Army to buy Army this year. It just seems like they haven't been playing like they were playing last year. Like last year, I really liked this Army team, but I don't know. I guess they're winning games now. They also did just beat ULM.
It is ULM. That is fair. But this Army team is they're just decent.
Yeah.
And by decent, I mean they only have 3 wins. I am buying them. So they play Air Force off of the bye week. Mm-hmm. At Troy, UConn, at UMass, in the Navy game. I think Army makes a bowl game.
Okay.
I think they win 3 of their next 1, 2. I think they win 3 of their next 5.
That's fair. Okay. I might not buy, but I'll let you buy.
I think they beat UConn, UMass, and Navy. And I think they're very close to being able to beat Air Force.
Okay.
Oh, God damn it. Pittsburgh just scored. I'm going to get very stressed out during the stream.
You mean the Brian
Baylor
Flores fuck you bowl?
Baylor 35, Kansas 23. Baylor's good, and Kansas without Jalen Daniels is this. They came back to make it competitive. Yeah, but they're nothing more than kind of feisty.
Did they just play the easy part? Did they just whoop up on the easy part of their schedule, and now it's going to be a battle to get that 6th win?
So I was talking with a buddy who's a big K-State fan. So the last time Kansas started out 5-0, they that was 2009. They did lose their next 7 games.
Okay. Okay.
But okay, so they play Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, Texas, and K-State. That is tough.
That is very
There is
tough.
a very real chance that Kansas does not make a bowl game.
Yeah.
I, for one, am going to be very happy.
That would be a nice end to it, just a very long season-long sweat for you. I, for one, do not want to see you eat the ingredients of a key lime pie. Like, I have no stomach for it, Jim.
If I'm picking a game for it to happen, it's probably this Texas game.
Okay.
So Texas just lost to Oklahoma State. They get a bye week, then they're at K-State, TCU. So they play at Kansas, right in between TCU and Baylor.
That's a tough spot for Texas. I don't know. Do you think that Texas lets themselves like lose to Kansas 3 years? What? 3
years in a row? I don't think
now?
so. I really don't. I just think that's Kansas's best spot to get a win. Like TCU can, like Texas Tech can maybe drop it to anybody, but I think Texas Tech is the better program in that game.
Yeah.
Based on what they're showing. Like, we'll get to it later when we talk Texas Tech. That's a program I'm buying.
Okay.
I might be selling Kansas.
You might be selling Kansas.
The early season, like, you can't, 5 wins is still miraculous. You can't take that away from them.
At this point, you're selling very high, too.
Yes.
I would have to say. I mean, even though there's absolutely no financial ramifications of us buying and selling said teams, but, you know.
I mean, we'll get into the non-financial ramifications when we get to roulette at the end of the show.
That's true. If it were a stock, you would be selling the stock very high with a 5-win Kansas.
Exactly. Ohio State 54, Iowa 10. This could have been worse.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm buying Ohio State.
You know what? I'm gonna buy Ohio State too. I bought them at the start of the season. I'm gonna buy some more stock. I think they're the best offense in the country.
They're pretty good. I think they just. I don't know. I think the Big Ten outside of Michigan is remarkably down this year.
The thing is, Iowa was supposed to have a good defense and still might have like a decent defense. Their offense not only does it do nothing to help, it probably hurts.
Did their defense score the only touchdown of this game?
Yes. Again, Iowa's defense is outscoring the offense
by hundreds of points at this juncture of the season.
The fact that Brian Ferentz still has a job is criminal.
Yeah. I think you said why when you said his last name.
Yeah, I mean, we know why. We know why. Nepotism is strong, especially in college, especially in sports, but especially in college sports. Clemson 27, Syracuse 21.
It was Syracuse's. They gave it away.
I know.
They gave it away. I'll tell you what, I want to say there was one call, and I hate to say the game boils down to a call, but there was one call that really just killed this and like killed all the momentum for Syracuse. And that was a personal foul late hit out of bounds that didn't get called whenever Garrett Schrader, ran for a first down. It should have been 15 yards. It would have been a real backbreaker for Clemson, and it didn't get called. And it was following a series where they had Clemson like 3rd and 25. Klubnik runs out of bounds, gets hit late, and almost the exact same play gets the call. And it really just it just killed all the momentum like on the Syracuse sideline. Like they just looked dead afterwards.
And if you call that for Clemson, I feel like you've got to call it for Q's.
Yeah,
like do one or the. You can't have it both ways. You got to call them both the same.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though. I'm going to buy Syracuse for the rest of the season. Let's look at what they got left on the schedule. This
was like the prove it game for me to Syracuse. I thought Syracuse, the fact that they hadn't played at home like all season.
Yeah.
This was like a real turning point for me, even though they didn't win. So they got Notre Dame, at Pitt, Florida State, at Wake, at Boston College. I think they could finish 9-3.
Yeah, I think 3-5 of those are winnable, maybe even 4 or 5. I could easily see them 11-1. Or sorry,
did you see the opening lines that they were that Notre Dame was favored at Syracuse?
That's a surprise. That is a surprise.
That switched like immediately. So those opened at like circa. So those were like the first lines posted, and almost immediately, by the time the other books got them, Syracuse was a 2-point favorite. So it went from Notre Dame as a 2-point favorite to Syracuse as a 2-point favorite.
I don't know about that. The Carrier Dome is just so hard to play. Just weird things happen in the Carrier Dome too.
Weird things happen.
Weird things.
God, Clemson's probably going to win the fucking ACC.
Probably.
And they're probably going to go undefeated. And they're probably going to make the playoffs. And they're probably going to get demolished by whoever they play. I think we're predicting the future here.
Yeah, I think we're pretty. We've said it before. I don't care. Disagree in the slightest.
I don't care who comes out of the Coastal. They're not beating Clemson.
Right. I can't even tell you who's in the Coastal. I don't even break them down by division when I talk about the ACC.
I think
it's just the ACC.
I think the favorite right now is still like North Carolina. Somehow.
Okay. And that's just the most underwhelming team out there.
Yeah. Cincinnati 29, SMU 27. SMU tried to claw back.
They were getting that ass kicked for
they
a
were
lot
getting
of this game.
fucking beat.
Yeah, they were getting that. We were both on. I think SMU covered, but we were both on the money line there for SMU plus like 105. And I mean, I don't know that this SMU is a team that I'm probably selling at this point.
Yeah, I bought early on in the season. I'm probably selling them. I'm putting all of my chips down to our other darling of the AAC, which we will get to. A team that I think we're both buying heavily on. Cincinnati, I might be buying. I think Cincinnati is actually like the AAC is weird, and I don't think the two favorites going in were Cincinnati and UCF. I don't think either of them are great.
Yeah,
but I think like Cincinnati's still good. Like they still have a really good coach, and they still have like the foundations of a good team.
Just like it's weird with who they play within the the conference itself. Like I'm surprised that somehow they didn't manage to not play UCF, but they get UCF next week.
Yes, so that's a big game.
I think I don't know. Outside of I honestly don't think that the AAC winner is either one of those two teams. I think you're right. It's the team that we're both going to be buying pretty heavily.
It's the team that Cincinnati plays at the end of the year. Also, how do you feel about their only loss being to your Razorbacks?
I mean, it definitely makes us look better. That's for sure.
That's a plus.
Houston
30, Houston 38, Navy 20.
Another Navy game goes over.
Yeah, I'm done. We talked about this on the Picks porch. I'm done betting Navy unders. I'm just not going to bet it.
I got to stay away from it at this point. I got to stay away. Houston actually didn't look as bad as they have, but at the same time, everyone's been thumping Navy with the exception of like East Carolina.
Yeah, this was the Houston we wanted to see at the start of the season, but yeah, it's against a Navy team who we're not very high on.
It's funny. I actually thought about buying Navy, and then I looked at the rest of their schedule. I was like, nope, not buying Navy. They've still got Notre Dame. They've still got Cincinnati. They've still got like I want to say Clemson or something. Like they've still got a lot of just thumpers on their schedule.
Yes, they do.
Is it almost time for the first new head coach in Navy in like God knows how long?
God, I don't know if they fire him is the thing.
I don't know.
He's had what, 3 bad years?
It'll be his third straight, I think. Because we were on him. I was on him last year because he had never had 2 back-to-back bad seasons.
Yeah.
And so I took him again this year because I was like, well, he's never had 2 back-to-back bad seasons.
Well, okay, maybe this is the 2 back-to-back, and 2020 doesn't count because of COVID.
If you want to play it that way, sure.
I don't know. I don't think they fire him this year.
Yeah,
They maybe should. But, man, talk about someone who's, like, he stuck around a little too long because 4 or 5 years ago, he was being talked about for big P5 jobs.
Pretty much, yeah. This was your chance.
Duke 45, Miami 21.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah, Miami sucks.
And I'll tell you what, I am buying Duke. I am heavily buying Duke. I think
so. When you say buy Duke,
Duke has been just crazy underrated for the entire season. And now listen to what they've got left: BC, Virginia Tech, Pitt, and then they finish with Wake.
They could win 3 of those.
They could win 3 out of 4, and they could finish what?
8-4.
8-4. That's a damn good season for the Duke
really
Blue Devils.
Good season to Duke.
That is a great season for Duke. Yeah, I'm buying it. I'm saying, you know what? I say the Duke Blue Devils go 8-4.
Let me look at the ACC standings real quick. Can they win the division? So Duke right now is third in the division. They're 2-2. They're tied for second with Georgia Tech. Insane. UNC is still probably the favorite.
Yeah.
To win that division. That's.
I don't know. I'm buying
Duke. I think Duke could go 7. They go 7-5, 8-4. A huge success.
I agree. 8-4. You could recruit for years off of 8-4 at Duke.
Oh yeah, I mean Cutcliffe had like a couple of seasons like that and made himself unfireable.
Yeah, a couple years at 8 or a year of 8-4, and maybe promise some basketball tickets, and you could recruit like hell at Duke.
Goddamn right. Buffalo 34, Toledo 27. This was the classic. Oh, Toledo's the best team in the MAC. They're gonna win the MAC. They're gonna do it. And Buffalo comes in, who's also having. I'm buying Buffalo. I was so low on this team coming into this season. I am buying the hell out of Buffalo. They're good. They come in, get the win. Fuck yeah.
I haven't been paying any attention to Buffalo, but it seems like every time we talk about Buffalo, you're telling me about a Buffalo win. So, yeah, fuck it.
So, Buffalo is 5-3. Started off 0-3, which I was I was super low on them. And then they started MAC play and have gone undefeated since. They beat our beloved Eastern Michigan. They beat Miami of Ohio. They beat Bowling Green, and then UMass and Toledo. So after their bye week next week, it's Ohio, Central Michigan, Akron, Kent State. I'm never going to say any team in the MAC goes undefeated in conference because it almost never happens. That Central Michigan game, it's one to watch out for because guess what day it's on? Wednesday.
Tuesday. Oh,
Wednesday.
yes.
Classic Maction Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
At Central Michigan.
Okay.
Be ready.
All right.
Circle that one. Speaking of which, though, Bowling Green 34, Central Michigan 18. Our chips are in a bad spot.
Yeah. It's just, we have the good thing about being a fan of a directional mish.
You have 3 to go from.
Yeah, I have 3. So, I mean, Eastern's playing pretty well. Western occasionally wins. Central, the chips didn't quite fire up this year.
Any week, we have a 33% chance of being very happy. Because we only need one. Like, in all honesty, I only need one to win to be happy.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Eastern Michigan 20, Ball State 16. I think my theory on betting Eastern Michigan this year, and I've been doing it all year, I'm going to just take them as a dog to cover any spread, and I'm going to fade them as a favorite.
Yeah, I think you've got the pattern pretty well locked down right there.
That could probably work for a lot of MAC teams, but it's especially true for Eastern Michigan. I'm also buying this team to make a bowl game.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit. I do think that Eastern Michigan is probably ends up your highest performing directional mish.
They only need to win one more game. They got Toledo, Akron, Kent State, Central. So if they win one more, that's another bowl game. Chris Creighton's still chugging along.
Yep.
Okay, Ohio 24, NIU 17. Similar thing. Fade NIU as a favorite.
Yeah, I don't think they've got it this year. I don't think they've got it.
They had the juju close wins last year, and it's
just not bouncing. Yeah, it's just not bouncing their way. I mean, how many times did they have it bounce their way in a row last year? You can't depend on that. That doesn't make a program. You can't just plan on the ball to bounce your way and win 8 games based off of it every single year.
Doesn't work every year. Notre Dame 44, UNLV 21.
I'm buying Notre Dame. I'm buying Notre Dame. I'm even going to say Notre Dame. I'm going to say Notre Dame somehow actually wins out the rest of the season. They've got Syracuse, Clemson, Navy, BC, USC. Two of those feel like guaranteed wins, but I think they sneak up and maybe get Syracuse, they get Clemson, and they get USC. There's too much talent on that team not to.
Clemson. I think they lose 2.
What 2?
But I think it's between. I mean, it's obviously I think they're going to win Navy, BC. I think they lose 2 of Syracuse, Clemson, USC.
I think they get.
It's because it's at USC for me. Like that's a tough one. At USC, at Syracuse.
Classic rivalry game, though.
It is a classic rivalry game, and they very well could win that one. But I just don't see them winning more than one of those 3 games.
I think if you were to look at their roster, that the Notre Dame roster would be more talented, would have more talent on it than all of these teams that they're playing against when you stack them up side by side each week.
That could be true.
And I do think that a little bit of it is you have Marcus Freeman as a rookie head coach kind of getting his feet underneath them, because if you look back now, it's like now they're starting to put it together and they're starting to kind of, figure it out in terms of, I mean, hell, they played Ohio State close 21-10 in the opener. Marshall jumps up out of anywhere, where I think Marshall just played the game of their life, because I've won betting against Marshall because they're heavily favored just off of that strength of that game a couple weeks ago. They handle Cal. They put they score a bunch of points against UNC. They have the Shamrock Series game in Vegas, which that is a big time home game for BYU because of how much Hawaiians love Las Vegas and how much Mormons love Las Vegas. Weirdly,
and how close it is.
And how close it is. They have a weird loss to Stanford. They play against UNLV. They almost cover the 23.5 point spread. So they won like they're supposed to. I don't know. I think they're putting it together. I
don't know if I'm buying it. I think Notre Dame is still it's what I thought at the beginning of the season. I think they're a good team with flaws, and it's a first-year head coach still. I don't trust them to win out.
I'm going to say they win. Okay, I'm going to adjust it from win out. I'm going to say they win 4 of their next 5.
I think they win 3. So we're kind of maybe that Syracuse game's like a toss-up, and maybe it's a close win.
Yeah. 3 of their next 5 puts them at 7-5 for the season. Yeah. Okay.
I do think they go 8-4, 7-5. I think that's the kind of team Notre Dame is.
Okay.
This is maybe bias coming from someone who did bet the under 8.5 wins.
That's fair. I'm sorry to put that juju on you then.
You're fine. Texas Tech 48, West Virginia 10. I'm buying Texas Tech. I don't know what that means exactly, but I'm buying Texas Tech.
I'm not.
So buying Texas Tech to me means they can make a bowl game after the terrible seasons they've had.
I mean, they just have to win 2 more. They got
Kansas. Baylor, TCU, but Kansas, Iowa State, and Oklahoma.
I don't know. I think we might just be they might be propped up a little bit by these Texas wins.
Yeah, I mean those are probably I'm probably buying too much into that.
Yeah, I'm not.
They did play a good NC State team, kind of close. They were very close with K-State, but that's a weird spot getting them.
Well, they still lose by 9? They lose by 10 to Oklahoma State. Then they beat the dog shit out of West Virginia.
Yeah,
but West Virginia had to come down off the mountain for it.
Exactly. I might be buying into that. I think I'm either buying Texas Tech or I'm kind of the same. I think they're a decent team. I think Texas Tech's a tough out. That's what I'm going to rank them as.
I think they're a 6-6, 7-5 team.
Yeah. Which
is better than they have been. Which is better
for being one of the worst teams in the Big 12. It's not bad.
Okay. I don't say I'm buying them, but I won't say that I hate them.
Rice 42, La Tech 41. Banger of a game.
In overtime. Yeah, man.
Banger. Who thought Rice was going to be here?
I know I picked Rice quite a few times when we were doing it. I have no idea if I picked him in this one or what games I picked them in. I feel like I just said the words hootie hoo a lot.
You did like saying hootie hoo quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go as far to say I'm buying Rice. But damn it, I like this team.
Yeah.
Maryland 31, Northwestern 24. Maryland's getting it done in the month of October.
Against Northwestern.
So maybe hold off.
Yeah.
Maybe hold off. But man, they're making me kind of believe.
That's fair. That is fair.
Only losses to Michigan and Purdue. God. Could Maryland make it to 8?
I don't know.
They got to win 2 more. They got to win 2 more games.
Maybe. Yes. Kind of. I don't know.
I think it's got to be it's either Wisconsin or Rutgers.
I feel like an 8-win Maryland means it was a down year outside of the top 2 Big Ten teams for the Big Ten.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Penn State still probably throttles them because that's quote unquote kind of a rivalry.
Yeah.
Basically, if they beat Wisconsin, then yeah, it just means that the Big Ten West is dog shit, and we all know that it is.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like the East is still the East has 2.5, 3 good teams.
Yeah, I think 2.5 is probably the best way to put it.
Like I'd put Ohio State, Michigan, and then like Penn State's like fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not buying. Liberty 41, BYU 14. I am buying Liberty.
I'm selling the shit out of BYU. What has happened to BYU?
I don't know, man. We were so high on this team. They
looked good too. They looked very good at the beginning of the season. I think maybe they played such a brutal schedule at the very beginning of the season that they're just spent.
They had a shitload of injuries mid-season, and they just never got back from them.
Yeah.
Like, they've gotten the players back, but they've just never recovered just wind-wise.
Now, as somebody who has to play against Libivity soon, I'm kind of scared of Libivity coming up.
Libivity might turn into your BYU scenario.
Might be.
Do you guys get him at home?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, that's fine then. You're fine.
Yeah.
UTSA 31, North Texas 27. All praise to the Undertaker in this matchup.
Tombstoning the fun out of the game. You just take it, you grab it by each of its legs, you put its face.
Wasn't even close.
And then you tombstone the fun.
It wasn't even close. This was a 58 score game. The total was like 72.
It was 72. Yeah. Yeah, that was insane. Insanity. By the way, the Undertaker was on tally site was the number 6. Number 6 out of I don't know how many for totals this week.
Tout that shit.
That's my second straight week in the top 10.
How's it feel? How's it feel to be a winner?
Well, it feels mostly I just feel dumb because why am I ever touching spreads and money lines?
Well, you should just be betting totals.
Just be betting totals, apparently.
FIU 34, Charlotte 15. This is basically just teams trading the worst team in college football title back and forth.
Yeah, pretty much.
And now it's Charlotte again. Charlotte's terrible.
It's Charlotte, yeah.
Marshall 26, James Madison.
The worst team title went through customs at the airport, and now it's at Charlotte.
And I assume eventually it'll go to like UMass or UConn or New Mexico State or somebody. They all get to touch it.
Hey, UConn's some dogs.
They are. Marshall 26, James Madison 12. It's the Sun Belt. Like,
yeah, it's like a mini Big 12. They're all fast, they're all talented, and it's just Hamburger Hill.
I'm buying the Sun Belt.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what? I'm buying the Sun Belt as the premier G5 conference.
I agree. I'm with you. It's like buying like a variety pack of cereal. Like everything's gonna.
Well, especially with like Cincinnati and UCF leaving the AAC, I am. Sun Belt is number 1.
Yep, I agree.
Georgia Southern 28, ODU 23. So I talked about this with Eric. We wish neither of these teams were playing each other because we wanted to fade the hell out of them.
Right.
So I just took the under, and it hit. Beautiful.
There you go.
Both these teams are like feisty and good. Like, I don't know. There's not really too much more to say.
Pretty much.
Western Michigan 16, Miami of Ohio 10. Maction, baby. Directional Mish.
Woo!
We got 2 out of 3. Only if we get 3 out of 3 do we play the song.
The music. Yeah.
We got 2.
It's coming soon. It's gonna happen eventually.
It's going to happen eventually. Tulane 38, Memphis 28. I thought Memphis. So we talked about this on the Jimnasium, the late show we did last week, and the Picks Porch. A team entering the top 25 that doesn't usually do it. I want to fade them. Tulane finally broke that curse. They proved me wrong. They got the win. They covered the spread. This team's good.
It was only the second sellout in Tulane history at their stadium. It was homecoming. They had like streakers on the field and shit. Like they are going bananas for Tulane this, right now.
As they should be.
The game wasn't really this close. Like at halftime, they were up like 4 or 5 touchdowns.
God, a weird loss to a Southern Miss team that is just the weirdest team, one of the weirdest teams in college football.
Yeah.
this team would be, everyone would be talking about Tulane if they were undefeated.
Yeah, I'm still buying the shit out of Tulane.
Oh, dude, fuck yes. I mean, their schedule does get very tough after the bye week.
I don't know. I think they're tough. I think this is a different Green Wave, which, by the way, have you ever noticed that the Green Wave just kind of looks like a character from Squidbillies?
It does, and that's another reason why I appreciate it so much.
I can't be the first person to make this observation, right?
Well, you're the first
I feel
one on
like
this show.
Oh, yeah, but I feel like elsewhere on the internet.
Do you think he's like a
probably pointed this
reoccurring
out
character
before.
or just like a one-off or two-off side character?
I feel like they probably run into him every year at spring break at PCB.
They probably see him like a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I'm just looking at their schedule. At Tulsa, UCF, SMU, at Cincinnati. That is tough.
I don't think Tulsa's tough.
I don't think Tulsa off of a bye week is tough. Tulsa's one of those spot teams where, like, if they were in between SMU and Cincinnati, I think that'd be a bad spot.
Yeah.
But that is tough. Like, I think those last three are tough.
I would like to see Tulane make a push. I think Tulane is capable of winning the AAC this year.
I definitely think so too. I think they can. I mean, as someone coming with a Tulane to win the AAC ticket, I have two teams that I want to see in that championship more than anything, and we'll get to the next one later. Wake Forest 43, Boston College 15. God damn it, Wake! I really wish you beat Clemson because you were such a fun team to watch.
Yeah, I don't know. If I were to buy a team to just stay completely flat through the rest of the year, like not do anything that surprises us and not do anything that disappoints us, it's going to be Wake.
Yeah, I think Wake wins out probably.
Yeah, I think Wake missed its shot when it lost to Clemson, and then they lost all the luster for their season with just that one loss, and it sucks. It sucks for them.
It's because like even Chadwell was talking about it. Like, why is Sam Hartman not getting any buzz for the Heisman? Because he's been putting up monster stats.
Because he plays in the AAC and he lost.
It's like because you play for Wake in the AAC, the only chance you have for national recognition. The only chance you have for recognition is to beat Clemson. It sucks, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
But damn it. This is one of those scenarios where people talk about like eliminating divisions because the two best teams play in the same one.
Pretty much.
Oregon 45, UCLA 30. I'm not selling UCLA. I'm not buy. God, I want to buy Oregon, but I also don't. Because the second you buy Oregon, that's when Bad Bo Nix is going to show up.
Fucking Nike is in possession of gene-altering DNA because this is not Bo Nix.
It's been like 4 weeks in a row.
Dude, this is not Bo Nix. I don't know. No, I refuse to believe that this is Bo Nix.
I think this game could have been closer and would have been more fun if that onside kick didn't work.
This is a Bo Nix imposter. That's the one thing that I can't get over is just
it's Bo Nix out there doing it.
Yes.
God.
You know, I'm selling Oregon because there's no way that if that really is Bo Nix, there's no way that Bo Nix can keep doing this.
He's been doing it all year though. Like Sans Georgia game, they've looked good.
No, if the real Bo Nix stands up, then he will throw 4 interceptions per game for the rest of the season, and they'll lose 5 straight.
Maybe it's just Bo Nix when he plays SEC opponents. Although I think at Auburn he looked really bad playing out of conference too.
Yeah, because he got his shit pushed in by Penn State a couple of times, I think.
Yeah. Oklahoma State 41, Texas 34. This was the barometer game for Texas.
Yep. I was on Oklahoma State here. You know what? You can go ahead and say it. I've been buying Oklahoma State, but I buy Oklahoma State again because you're now in the just peak Oklahoma State position, basically. Like this is where they find themselves every year with one loss, a really good team flying under the radar.
They're probably going to play in the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it probably comes down to when they play Kansas State. When they play K-State. That's probably a game to decide who's going to play in the championship game.
Fair.
You can't really count out Baylor right now, and technically you can't count out Texas, but I'm going to count out Texas.
That's fair.
LSU 45, Ole Miss 20. I'm buying LSU.
Whoa, yeah, that was it. And hardcore selling Ole Miss because Ole Miss is like they had just fucking cream puff.
I'm gonna
first
coin
half of the
flip.
season.
I will coin flip every week for Ole Miss the rest of the season to see whether they win or lose, and see how well I do.
I don't think you're wrong. I think Ole Miss 100%. Like they were inflated by a really easy start of the schedule, and now they're starting to the chickens are coming home to roost.
They're the same team as last year, in my opinion, where like they just have all of their tough teams at the end of the season.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think LSU's like actually good. Like actually competitive.
Yeah, and I think now that they've figured out the quarterback situation, I think so.
Because how does LSU finish their schedule?
Well, they've got one guaranteed loss.
Yeah, they got Alabama off the bye week.
No, Arkansas. So
They
two.
got at
They have
Arkansas.
two guaranteed losses.
I think they have 2 more wins. UAB and at Texas A&M are probably both wins.
And that's an 8-4 season then.
Hey, from how they looked like after week 1, when everyone was talking, people really just shit on this team after that Florida State loss. And they've done nothing but win except against Tennessee.
Yeah, they looked bad.
They've won ugly, but
yeah, except for last week, like they just turned on the afterburners and just blew away Old Miss.
good fucking night. Wisconsin 35, Purdue 24. I might buy Wisconsin as a Big Ten West potential, but
I mean, good for you, but I can't co-sign that.
I don't blame you.
I'm just so done with Wisconsin as a program.
You should be done with that division.
Forever.
So they have climbed all the way up to 2-3 in conference, sitting basically kind of tied with Nebraska right now. Purdue still sits in second place, and in sole possession of first place in the Big Ten West are your Fighting Illini, the Fighting Birds of Illinois.
The Burtoning is upon us.
It's a very dangerous time we live in. UTEP 24, FAU 21. Fuck yeah, go UTEP.
Here you go, UTEP.
I think UTEP makes a bowl game again.
Have fun
Good job,
in the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas.
Yeah, we talked about that. Eric was like, damn, a Sun Bowl with UTEP and Kansas would be fucking fun.
That would be pretty fun. That would be very fun.
Never been to El Paso. Missouri 17, Vanderbilt 14.
I was on Vanderbilt here. I thought Vanderbilt
I
gets one more win this season, and this was it. But both these teams are garbage.
Yeah, they both suck. Stanford 15, Arizona State 14. I was on ASU here. Money line. I got fucking Stanford's fine.
Stanford's
I think Stanford's like all right. Oh god, I'm bleeding.
They're just kind of putting it together. What did you do?
I don't know. I smacked myself with a pen, and then I must have scraped something. Whatever.
Jesus Christ, Jim.
Sorry, I'm watching this frustrating Miami-Pittsburgh game. Mm-hmm. I just had to cut myself to feel. Colorado State 17, Hawaii 13.
Listen, that
was too many points for a Colorado State team. You were right.
If you are giving if there's a total that is north of like 34 points, and you're betting the over in a Hawaii game, then this just might not be the sport or hobby for you. Like you might need to pick something else to do for fun and with your money, because literally the under is like a fucking lock in these Hawaii games every single week. And they're
so bad.
They keep adjusting it down, but they just refuse to adjust it down how far it needs to be. They need to just set the total at 30 points each week. And I bet you that would still get the desired amount of action on over and under.
I don't think Hawaii wins another game.
No, they don't.
Their best chance is probably Fresno coming to the island. I just don't see it happening.
Sad state of affairs. Yeah. No, they're terrible. They're bad. I don't think they'll have a football program in 5 years.
I really hope they do, because I love, just Hawaii football is one of my darling babies. Louisiana 38, Arkansas State 18. Talk about bad and disappointing. Arkansas State sucks, dude.
Yeah, but they'll still sneak up and still beat like 2 or 3 teams that they shouldn't for the rest of the season. It's just because that's how the Fun Belt is.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah, we're all out of Butch Jones magic and Jones Boogie Rockin' Saw.
Southern Miss 20, Texas State 14. I respect Southern Miss just for the fact that they're like running a Wildcat only offense.
You know what? Let me look at a schedule here because.
Are you looking at a Southern Miss schedule?
You know what? I'm buying Southern Miss. I'm
Oh.
buying Southern Miss.
Oh.
They've got Louisiana, Georgia State, but then they run into Coastal, USA, and ULM. I think they could easily win 3 of those 5. I think they sneak away and maybe win 4 of 5.
Talk about a team, since they beat USA. Did they beat USA? Right?
No, they've got USA
they'll play
second to last game. Yeah.
That could be a game for the Sun Belt West.
Yeah. They played Tulane. They only lost to Tulane by 3 points.
No, they beat Tulane by 3 points.
They beat my bad. They beat Tulane by 3 points. They put up a good game against Troy. They could easily beat UL. They could easily beat Georgia State. Coastal Carolina and USA are the 2 dicey ones. And then ULM. I think they win ULM. So I think
that South Alabama game could be one for the division.
I think they're 4-1 with a surprise. 4-1 with a surprise, either Coastal or USA. More than likely Coastal.
Yeah, probably. Probably Coastal. Coastal play a lot of teams really close. Yep. San Jose State, New Mexico State has been postponed. Who do we think is going to win that one? I'm on SJSU.
I'm also on SJSU. You know why?
They took off the training weights.
No Nick Starkel.
Fresno 41, New Mexico 9. This is a win that Fresno State needed.
Yeah, the net crack needed to get right. They're still a disappointing team this season.
Yes,
we'll see. We'll see what they do.
Alabama 30, Mississippi State 6. This is kind of just what Alabama does. Yep. I believe Mississippi State has had the unfortunate luck of playing Alabama off of losses for like the last 2 to 3 years in a row.
Yeah, and actually I'm selling Mississippi State for the remainder of the season. I think they peaked already and they're coming back down.
You think both Mississippi schools peaked?
Yeah, I think so.
See, I trust Mississippi State's defensive front to still be competitive. So what do you mean selling? Because they play Auburn, Georgia, Eastern Tennessee, and Ole Miss. I think they win 2 to 3 of those easily.
I don't think they're going. I guess what I'm saying is I don't think they're going undefeated. I don't know. I think they might even have some surprise losses in there because they've played, they got, I don't know.
Well, so they avoid.
Maybe I take back what I just said, and I'm not sure how I feel anymore. Similar
to Tennessee, they avoid the Alabama hangover by having a bye week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then, off of a bye week, they come and play Auburn, who I'm going to assume were both extremely low. Like, Auburn sucks.
Yeah, sure.
Like, they're terrible. Georgia's obviously a loss.
Yeah.
Eastern Tennessee is a win, and then the Egg Bowl is a coin flip.
So that's basically a coin flip between 2 and 3 or 3 and 2 to finish the season.
Yeah, so I think they either go 8 and 4 or 7 and 5, which I think is a fairly typical Mississippi State season.
Yeah, 7-5 is a step down from where everyone thought they were going to be after like week 4.
Yeah, that's fair. It's hard. I think their main disappointing losses, like obviously I think you're losing to Alabama. The disappointments are your LSU and Kentucky losses.
Yeah, and basically what happens is, I mean, you just have, I don't know, you have really good teams that play in the SEC West that if you put them in any other conference or division in the United States would be like a top 1 or 2 team. And that's,
I think
that's the story of Mississippi State right now.
I think Mississippi State's a good team. I don't think they're I don't know. I think they're probably an 8-win team. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Boise State 19, Air Force 14. Boise State, they're just chugging along.
Yeah, I hate them.
Yeah, I do too. I think they're going to win the Mountain West probably, though.
That sucks. That's not how the Mountain West should be.
It's not. South Carolina 30, Texas A&M 24. Hilarious. Are we buying South Carolina?
No. No, we just hate Texas A&M.
Yeah, Texas A&M sucks.
Let's see. Are they on par or on?
Oh, they can go 7-5.
They're 3 and 4. Oh, I would love to see them go 6 and 6.
Oh, Texas A&M.
Yeah,
that would be.
They could easily go 6 and 6. They could easily go 5-7.
I know. What if they don't make a bowl game?
Then you fire Jimbo and pay him God knows how much money.
Yeah, because that's all guaranteed.
Right.
So you fire Jimbo for $90 million?
Yep. Pretty much. Look at this. All right, they got Ole Miss, Florida. That you can't guarantee either one of those games. Auburn, I think they could maybe beat Auburn. If they lose to Auburn, that's just hilarious. Yes, the only guaranteed win here is UMass.
They might go. Oh, Jesus. Talk about disappointing. People were talking about A&M as a fucking playoff team.
Yeah. Man, what happens if they go 3-9?
I mean, fine.
They would go.
Right?
They would go 4-8. They would go minimum 4-8.
No, because they just would flip it. They go 8-4. Usually, they would go 4-8.
4-8. Yeah. Oh man,
they suck, dude. Talk about. They are like the Iowa of the South. Their offense sucks.
Pretty bad.
I want to see a Texas. I kind of want to see a Texas A&M Iowa game to see how fucking terrible we can see.
Kevin Sumlin's offenses were way better than this.
I thought Jimbo Fisher was supposed to be an offensive savant.
That's what I thought too. That's what everyone in College Station thought.
Penn State 45, Minnesota 17. Yeah, this is kind of classic James Franklin. He follows up a very disappointing loss with a big win.
Yeah, against an underwhelming team. He's the king of the underwhelmings.
Probably selling Minnesota. I was higher on. I was buying Minnesota like preseason. I'm selling them now.
Well, don't they have Ibrahim back now?
He was back for this game.
Yeah. Then I think it's time for the fire sale, for the hard sale.
Yeah, I'm probably selling Minnesota at this point. ECU 34, UCF 13. I am all on ECU, baby. They're my other team. If I have Tulane and ECU in the AAC championship game, I am salivating because I have tickets on both these teams.
I literally do not have anything nice to say about either one of these teams, so I'm just not going to speak.
Why do you hate ECU?
I just don't think that. I don't know.
They've been disappointing. Like all their losses are. Like, the issue is their losses are so like, except for that Tulane loss, like they should have beaten NC State week 1, and they should have beaten Navy. Their special teams are so garbage.
A loss to Navy is a bad loss.
It's bad.
Yeah,
but they should have won. They're disappointing, yes. But I'm going to buy this team. I really hope that they come. Like, their schedule doesn't, like, their schedule is nice that their tough games are spread out. Yes, they play at BYU this week. Probably a loss.
Yeah.
But we don't know because BYU's a little weird. But then it's at Cincinnati off the bye week, Houston at Temple. They have a shot.
Okay.
They have a shot.
All right.
I'm buying them, baby. I'm buying them.
All right. Have fun.
TCU 38, Kansas State 28. Do we know what was up with Adrian Martinez?
Do we know what was up with all of the Kansas State quarterbacks at some point? I don't, which I think is kind of puts lipstick on a pig for that TCU win a little bit. Like the fact that you were going against the second string who was giving you a ton of trouble, and then the third string quarterback who you're finally able to corral. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe sell TCU for the rest of the season just because I think that they've peaked. I don't know how much better they can keep doing.
You're so down on TCU for how high you are on Oklahoma State.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't think that I'm not low on TCU. I just don't know if they can keep this momentum up for that long. Whereas like, I feel like Oklahoma State is just in such a familiar position, like to where they're exactly where Oklahoma State always is at this time of year.
I think TCU's offense can keep them in almost any game. I think more likely than not, it's probably a rematch with them and Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah, and then give me Oklahoma State all day.
Then I'll take Oklahoma State. But until then, I'm still going to buy TCU.
Okay. All right.
Like, I don't, like, maybe at West Virginia is the tough game, but I like him against Texas Tech. I love him against Texas. At Baylor's tough. And then Iowa State is weird.
Yeah.
But I think there is, like, they probably lose 1 or 2.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see. Oregon State 42, Colorado 9. So much for interim coach for Colorado. That was packed that one up
Yeah.
as good vibes after they beat Cal.
Yep.
Oregon State has a good offense.
Yeah, and Colorado is very bad. Very bad.
Louisville 24, Pitt 10.
What
Can
the
I sell
fuck?
both these teams?
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
I
I don't-
actually just these are just set them on the curb giveaway.
yeah, this is
teams.
giveaway. I don't like either of these teams. My Pitt under 8.5 bet is feeling good though.
Yeah, I agree. No, I don't want a part of either one of these teams.
No. I watched this game. It was gross. Wyoming 28, Utah State 14.
Big time buying Wyoming.
I'm buying
big time
Wyoming,
buying Wyoming. The Pokes look good. The Pokes might surprise and maybe win the Mountain West.
For how low I was on this team coming into the season,
I was very high on Wyoming. So I'm not sure if I'm actually buying.
I'm buying. I love this Wyoming team. And you're right. I want them to win the Mountain West.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. I'll tell you what, their game in 3 weeks versus Boise State, that might be for the whole Megillah when it comes to who wins this division of the Mountain Division, the Mountain Best.
It does suck that they're in the same division. Because
Listen,
I assume who wins that division. Well, San Jose State will be an interesting one to probably wins the West.
yeah, they probably listen. Somehow Fresno State is in the three-way tie for the West lead with San Jose State and San Diego State.
I don't count San Diego State as being in that. They're terrible.
But listen to the rest of Wyoming's schedule: Hawaii,
Win.
Colorado State,
Win.
Boise State.
Tough one. Where's that one
Tough
at?
matchup.
Where's that one
That's in Wyoming.
Ooh.
And
Ooh.
then to wrap it up at Fresno
Ooh.
State.
Ooh.
They could go undefeated.
They could.
They go undefeated, they go 9-3, and then they beat Boise State and they win the Mountain West Mountain Division by tiebreaker by virtue of beating Boise State.
So let's figure it out. So who do we think wins the Mountain West?
I think
It's Wyoming or Boise?
You mean the Mountain Division of the Mountain West?
No, I'm just saying the conference as a whole. Like I think whoever's coming out of the mountain probably wins.
I think it might be. I think you could make a case for San Jose State. I think you're probably right. I think it's either it's who wins the Mountain Division, and I'm more in on Wyoming than I am on Boise State.
So Wyoming wins the Mountain West. Who do we think wins the Sun Belt? I think it might be App State.
Pass.
I'm going to go with App State.
App State, Troy, it could
Coastal
be
still could do it.
Coastal. Yeah,
I'm going to say App State. Who wins the AAC?
Tulane.
Tulane
or Cincinnati.
Tulane. I'm going to say Tulane. We'll say Tulane. Who wins the CUSA? UTSA probably.
UTSA probably.
And then who wins the MAC?
Kent State.
We'll go Kent. I'm going to say Buffalo.
Okay.
Who makes the New Year's Six? Tulane probably at that point.
I think so, just because of where they are. They're actually in the polls.
And they would actually probably have like double-digit wins. Like all these other teams are going like 9-3 at best.
Yeah. So if Tulane wins and they win out, then they're hands down. Like
hands down. They're
yeah. Then I think it's them by a mile.
Washington 28, Cal 21.
Both these teams, they could just execute them. Basically, I just don't care. I basically, as soon as Oregon beat UCLA, I quit caring about the Pac-12.
I still love Cal as a team to bet on. I mean, this was the
so
Cal
weird.
spot.
You love them so much because one of the best sandwiches you've ever had.
Yes,
so
that's a
close
fact.
to
But
Cal.
also, I talked about it with Eric. This is the Cal spot. Like they play Washington super close.
Yeah.
2 of the last 3 years they've won outright.
Yeah.
I loved Cal on this spot. I'm going to fade them probably next week. San Diego State 23, Nevada 7. Nevada sucks. Not more to say about that.
Yeah, I'm just giving both of these teams away.
Moving on, we have the NFL, baby.
Let's get it.
Thursday night, Saints, Arizona, Saints, Cardinals. Cardinals won that 42-34.
Yeah.
Are we buying the Cardinals with Hopkins back?
I think I think they make the playoffs. I don't know.
That is buying.
But that's as a wild card. Like I don't think they win their division, and there's so many more wild card spots now.
There are. I still think that counts as buying them.
Okay, sure. Then I'm buying the Cardinals with Nuke back.
I think. Yeah. And who else did they get added on? They got Robbie Anderson as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think it does matter that they lost Hollywood though.
I think that does. Yeah, it does hurt. I think getting D-Hop back is huge.
It's huge because it fills the gap and then some. They would have been nasty on the same field together, though.
Falcons 17, Bengals 35.
There's at one point in this game where I was like, okay, the Falcons are about to make this a game, and then it's just the Bengals. Somehow it doesn't matter how many times Joe Burrow gets sacked. Like they're doing exactly what they did last year, where they let Joe Burrow get sacked about 7, 8, 15 times a game. And then they just have better wide receivers than everybody else. So anytime he has enough time to pass to a wide receiver, it's completion for a huge chunk play. Anytime he doesn't, it's just a sack for a loss of like 15 yards. And like his life meter goes down slightly each time.
They're a big boomer bust team.
Yeah.
I might be selling the Falcons.
I'm buying the Falcons. I think they figure something out.
They're still feisty. I think they're feisty. Yeah. I still think that's their level.
Especially with what we saw out of Tampa.
I am selling the Lions. Lions 6, Cowboys 24.
It was an exciting time, wasn't it?
It was a great first 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah. It was an exciting time to be a bandwagon Hard Knocks Lions fan, and now it's just not.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
That offense hasn't come back, and that defense is still the worst in the league.
Yep.
Selling them. I'm not buying the Cowboys either. I think they're good. It's a very interesting division.
They potentially are the second best team in the NFC, though.
You think the 2 best teams in the NFC are both in the NFC East?
I think the best 3 might be in the NFC East.
Oh, I love it.
I think so, man. I really think so. I think between the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Eagles.
Ooh. Colts, Titans. Titans win 19-10. This is a gross game. Matt Ryan sucks, dude.
Matt Ryan looks awful. They're just gonna. I mean, it's just they're gonna. The AFC South is just gonna be the Titans slogging to a win, a couple games over 500, win the division. That's what it's gonna look like.
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you. Packers, Commanders win 23-21. Taylor Heineke, baby, fuck you.
With Taylor Heineke at the helm, the fact that he's about to get 3 more starts because Carson Wentz is on IR, he's gonna win the next 3 in a row. And then there's going to be a big question of do they put Carson Wentz back in? And you know what? I don't think they do. I think this is
hope they don't.
Team.
I hope
and
they
therefore
don't.
I'm buying the Commanders for the remainder of the
season.
I
buy the Commanders too. I think with Taylor Heineke at the helm, the NFC East becomes the toughest division in the NFL.
Here it is, Murderers Row. Boom.
Also, the Packers stink.
Yeah. It's all.
I think the Packers might be fault. A benchmark team at this point.
All Aaron Rodgers' fault at this point.
Did you see that they are 10.5-point underdogs against the Bills, which is the first time in Aaron Rodgers' career he's been a double-digit underdog?
They're not wrong. That defense is going to tear them apart.
It's going to annihilate them.
Yeah.
Bucks, Panthers. XFL had a fucking week. The Panthers win 21-3. PJ Walker owns Tom Brady.
It's amazing.
The Bucks are really bad.
Yeah, you want to talk about a team like that? That locker room has been lost. They're done. No one believes that Tom is going to take them anywhere, so no one's playing worth
Can
shit.
We talk
everyone's injured. That team has nothing.
Can we talk about maybe Bruce Arians was a little bit underrated and did a really good job of kind of managing everything on that team?
Yeah, I mean,
not only did he have all these guys, he still had AB to deal with.
Yeah, He still had AB throw all of his pads into the crowd at MetLife Stadium and still got them to an NFC, divisional playoff round.
Giants, Jacksonville. Giants win this one 23-17.
Everyone thought that this was a down spot, a spot to pick the Jags, but I stayed on the Giants here. You know what? I even put it. So I have Josh Allen as my fantasy quarterback. He, of course, was on bye this week. I've been only carrying one quarterback because I have Josh Allen. Why the fuck else would I start anyone else? Who did I pick up? And give the start to?
Dimes?
And who gave me 30 points?
Whew.
30 points out of Danny Dimes on a spot start, son. I'm good at this.
So I'll talk about it when we get to the next couple games. So next up, we had the Browns, Ravens. Ravens win this one 23-20. Ugly game.
Ravens hold on to one at the end.
There you go. That they needed that.
Yeah.
It's kind of when the Ravens needed.
Biggest mistake they ever had was not hanging on to Wink Martindale.
Yes. Jets
and
Broncos.
maybe letting Ozzie Newsome retire as a general manager too, because he was
really good.
Yeah, world class.
Jets Broncos. Jets win 16-9.
I'm just pointing at myself here over and
how
over
right
again.
You were.
Yes, and especially with this game too.
So I had
Jets money line. I was on the Jets spread. I thought it was just easy Jets pickings, and then I heard Russell Wilson was out, and they gave Ripon the start, and I was like, "Well, this is easy. This is easy. Let's go Jets, Jets."
I went 4 for 5 on my hashtag Garage certified picks.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that didn't win were the Falcons.
Mm-hmm. That's a good day.
Pretty good.
Good day.
I think the Jets are fine. Speaking of, I think the AFC East is really good. With how the Bills, the Dolphins with Tua, I think are actually a good team. And then the Patriots with Zappy looking really good. And the Jets are weirdly efficient and good.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Raiders 38, Texans 20. This was a game for a lot of it, but the Texans are the Texans, so.
Yeah, on the Raiders here, I might be buying the Raiders for the remainder of the season.
You've been buying the Raiders. You were high on the Raiders to start.
But then I was very low on them again after the last couple weeks. I don't know. I think they've figuring it out, and I think they have a strong finish, and they maybe sneak in with a wild card.
Seahawks 37, Chargers 23. The Seahawks are fucking good with Geno Smith.
What are the Chargers?
I don't know. Justin Herbert's weird.
They're good, but
is he still playing hurt
at the same time? I don't know. He seems fine. It's like they're good, but also at the same time, right? Okay, this is the conundrum, Jim, is that they're
the Chargers. The Chargers exist in a space between good and bad at any point in time.
Yeah, they're like a performance purgatory. That's kind of what it is.
I think they're a performance art piece. Of how you can just string along a fan base. Chiefs 44, 49ers 23. Guess what? Patrick Mahomes is still really fucking good. You can't say too much about it. Oh, you're back. We're talking about the Chiefs Niners. The Chiefs win 44-23. I was just saying, guess what? Patrick Mahomes is still really good.
Yeah. Guess what? Christian McCaffrey wasn't going to make a difference in his first week after being on the team for 2 days.
Betting against the Chiefs first quarter, cash again.
Yes, look at that. That is the best. We figured that out. That is the best bet in football.
I won't take credit. You figured that out.
Quarter. I did figure that out. I figured that out last year, and we should have been just slaying this every single week for the last 32.
We almost had it first half too.
Almost had it. We almost had it first half. Yeah. I don't know.
I think the Chiefs are still really good. I'm probably buying the Chiefs.
I'm buying the 49ers, quite honestly.
Again, a team I'm also pretty high on too.
Yeah.
I think once McCaffrey gets installed in that system.
Yeah, and as they keep getting pieces back on the defense, like they got Bosa back this week, yeah, it'll be good.
Okay, and last but certainly not least, we have the Dolphins Steelers right now with a minute and a half left in the third quarter. Dolphins are up 16-10.
I had the Steelers to cover 7.5 here in this matchup.
They might. They probably will. The Dolphins had a great first quarter, and then the Steelers defense adjusted and didn't have massive holes.
It's 16-10 right now.
16-10 right now. There's about a minute and a half left in the third quarter.
I'm going to say the Steelers win this 2016.
You think so?
Yeah, Brian Flores' fuck you game is what this is.
Oh, this could be.
Yep.
I'm going to be a homer and say the Dolphins win this one. I say this as Tua's about to... Oh, no, he's actually running. Oh, God. Damn it. Fucking, he scares the shit out of me because Tua just doesn't slide.
No, that's not a good idea for him.
He doesn't slide. He goes shoulder first.
Definitely start sliding.
I love it and hate it all at the same time.
Yeah, that is not smart. He's not going to last very long. He's not long for this.
He puts his shoulder down and just he trucked a guy this time. But I think the Dolphins win this one. So can they get to 20? I think they win 23-17.
Fair. I think either one can happen.
That way you still cover.
Yeah, that way I still cover. I safely say it's either you. It's literally either going to be your score or my score. There's no in between.
Those are the two scores. We did it, Chase. We talked about every single bit of football.
And what do we got? We got the Patriots and the Bears tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I think the Patriots win that one. I think the Bears suck.
Yeah, I think I think Bailey Zappi just keeps putting up numbers.
I think so too. I think he keeps putting up them numbies.
There, now we've talked all of football.
Now we have, and now it's time. Bada bing.
Okay.
We got 1,500 garage bucks here.
You know what I want to do?
What do you want to do?
I want to slam it all on 25 through 36.
Ooh. 25 through 36.
Yeah.
Just everything right there.
Yep.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this, though. $10 on each one.
Little saver. Okay.
A little 100 here. There we go.
We are heavily invested. Let's
we are
go.
Heavily invested. 26, baby! We're back! We're back, baby! Oh!
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, what a fucking win.
Listen, when I have a feeling when it comes to the ball on the spinning wheel, everyone should listen. That's what I say.
4,500. That's a $3,000 win, baby.
Whew.
Thank you, Chase. Oh, God. Next time we can actually. I'll talk a little bit too before we go. CFL playoffs get here. They're exciting.
Yeah, man.
Last week of the regular season. This coming week.
I will be sure to tune back in. I mean, I've got ESPN Plus. It means I can watch these games.
Yeah, sometimes they put them on regular ESPN2 every once in a while.
Yeah.
I wonder what they'll do for the playoffs.
I mean, I think ABC, clear your schedule. It's time for the CFL playoffs.
Damn fucking right. Chase, where can the people find you?
Yeah, I'm around.
Damn right. Same here. You guys know where to find me. XFL Jim places. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next week for the Jimnasium. We'll see you Friday for the Picks Porch. Bye.